All right. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to the Generation Gap podcast. My name is Gus Sanchez,
I'm Ed Sanchez.
and we're here to present this pretty rockin' podcast. So, just to kick things off, like I said, my name is Gus Sanchez. I'm 17, and Ed, you are
I'm going to be 63 this fall.
63. So there's about a 45 to 46 year difference, which is pretty remarkable, especially since we're father and son.
Undoubtedly. And talk about a generation gap.
No shit.
That's why we thought we'd share this with you because we do have a tremendous generation gap here. And Gus and I have spent a lot of time together in his 17 years on this earth. And as the more time we've spent together, the older he gets, the further we get apart in our ideals, our thoughts, which way we lean politically, etc. So we thought we'd share this gap with you as it continues to grow. The good news is we have agreed to disagree.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the key point here. But what caused us to start this podcast is mainly based on the fact that, of course, we disagree on many issues or topics. But what's fascinating about us is that we're able to sit in the same room and how we have very ranging political or economical or any viewpoints on anything. It's pretty interesting, at least in our opinions, that we live in the same household, yet we can disagree on literally everything.
Literally everything's correct. So, I'd offer, I'm 63 years old, and just an item about me is that I, by today's standards, I'm pretty old school.
Yeah, baby boomer.
Yeah, I'm a baby boomer. My dad, of course, was a World War II veteran. Grew up in Colorado, in a blue-collar city in southern Colorado. My dad was a steel worker, and so I learned a lot of things from him, as well as, as a kid, as a young man, I went to work in the energy business where, first and foremost, I learned to be a pretty damn good redneck, Gus.
Yep, I can definitely say that for sure.
That's how Gus managed to land his name, was Gus.
Yep.
Being born in the great state of Wyoming and all.
Hey, save talking about me for when I talk about me.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's right. So anyway, I guess first and foremost, anything I've done in my life is I've been a husband to a wonderful lady for like 38, going on 39 years. I'm a father of 6. That's correct, 6 children. So you know how hard I've had to work just to keep all those babies fed, and I still feed them.
Shut up.
And but if I look in the mirror and say, "What are you?" That's first and foremost. I am a husband and a father, and proud of both. And so, Gus, tell us a few things about you.
Well, just like you, Dad, I am a father of 6. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, well, I'm 17. I'm still going through high school, about to do my senior year, which is weird because I feel like I'm much older. But yeah, so I'm still rocking high school.
Can I cut in?
Sure.
You are much older. 3rd grade was the hardest 3 years of your life.
Oh, shut up. And I didn't go to 3rd grade for 3 years, just as a disclaimer. No, I mean, for me personally, I've just, a lot of my life, I mean, Dad could attend to this. I've just
attest to this?
Could attest, whatever. Shut
Gotcha.
up. I'm tired. A lot of my life has just kind of been founded on just learning about different walks of life, whether that be what Ed teaches me, what my mom teaches me, what school teaches me. I'm just kind of a learning kid, and I love information, and I love just understanding the world, I think.
I think the experience world is what it's all about, Gus. Just as we give our little bit of a bio here, once again, I grew up in southern Colorado, lived all across the Front Range of Colorado, have lived in Wyoming a couple of different times, in Laramie and out in the desert out there in southwestern Wyoming, and lived in the beautiful mountains of northern Arizona, as well as currently living down here in the Sunshine Country, Las Cruces, New Mexico. Got to throw in a plug because pretty proud of this little city we live in right now.
Damn straight.
And so it's a good way to experience other cultures, other lives. Know a little bit about being Western. Know a little bit about being a snowflake. Know a little bit about lifestyle in the Great Southwest, and yeah, do I know much about being a Yankee? No. Do I know much about being a Southern boy? Well, I've worked with a lot of Southern boys, but never lived down there, so probably missing that. And spent some time in Cali, but that doesn't mean I know anything about California other than some of their political viewpoints, which keeps me to being a tourist there, and never will move any place that anybody wants to get their hands in my pockets deeper than what our little we have nothing to offer state of New Mexico.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. Well, I guess that kind of leads us into the first thing that we set very big differences on is political views.
Yeah, if I might just chime in real quick.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Of course, my wife and I, we're of the same political persuasion, and so truly, as Gus was growing up, he like he said, he is a kid that loves to learn, and I just thought, man, this kid is going to be launching some awesome grassroots young Republican. Something that was going to happen great for him, and he just leaned that way right for just so many years, and had a political viewpoint as a young child, and then one day I wake up and we're sitting at the table, and his mom and I are just totally in awe because he's now left. Tell us a little bit about how that happened, Gus.
Well, to be honest with you, it just started from the fact that I learned what having my own opinion was. I mean, I'm not saying that I never had an opinion, but I would say for a good chunk of my life, I really didn't understand or didn't know. How about that? I didn't really know other walks of life in terms of political wise. I didn't really know the ideas of the left. And what's funny is a lot of what I started to believe in as a kid, a lot of my, because I wouldn't say I'm like some social justice warrior by any means, but I would say personally that
I would.
Whatever. I would say personally that a lot of what I believed in as a kid, that what I understood about the world and what I felt was right and what I agreed with, just so happened to be the ideas of left-leaning. And so I think that's where a lot of my political views started coming in, was that when I started to really look at and say, what do I believe in as a person, not as a Republican or as a Democrat, I thought, what do I believe in as a person? I realized that a lot of what I believed in just so happened to be leaning left.
I think I'd offer this, is I think that Gus leans a way that is more than willing to give anybody the shirt off of my back. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay, Lefty. Go ahead.
Oh, shut up. But yeah, that's just, that's me personally, that's, I've said this before, I'm a humanist. I believe in the goodwill of humanity and what it means to just be a person rather than what it means to be an American or a German or like a Christian or whatnot. I believe that just being a person is ultimately what matters in the world, and a lot of just what I agree with, like I said, just so happens to be leaning left. So in my eyes, I don't see myself as a Democrat or left leaning, even though that's basically what I am. A lot of what I believe in is just purely about what I believe in as a human.
I'm proud of you for saying that, Gus, because you're my son.
Yeah,
but
you're not proud of me.
But when I think about it, I think that that's a snowflake's way of living, and quite frankly, I politically I lean the way that believes in less government.
Right.
Because the government can't run itself, much less my business.
Right.
I believe that the government takes too much of my hard-earned money as it is, and the further left we go, the more that happens. And by the way, I don't have much money.
Yeah.
And I believe in I believe in people as a whole should carry their own weight instead of having the government carry your weight. So of course I lean right. We have some great discussions at our dinner table.
Great discussions.
And from time to time, people walk away hungry and pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
But what a great way to have a family meal.
Right.
And so,
no, definitely.
So as we talk about that, we'll talk politics as politics as a whole. In other podcasts, as we think of economics as something else that we have a lot of discussions on, and that we'll jump right into in the not too distant future. Economically, I'd offer a little background on myself. Is that I grew up in a blue-collar household. I have family members that were blue-collar. In particular, my dad. And I grew up in believing you carry your own weight. Yeah, I'm a baby boomer. Make fun of me, but I'm going to tell you something that my dad's generation, they called the greatest generation. And the reason they called that generation the greatest generation is because people believed in carrying their own weight. Mm-hmm. And in today's world, economically, maybe that doesn't happen so much. It ties back to politics. And at the end of the day, I hope that you understand that your success is not dependent on anything other than yourself.
Right.
And so economically, I believe in making the most money you could possibly make and doing what you need to do as long as it's legal.
Yeah.
To make a buck. And I'm interested to hear what you think about economically, Gus.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me personally, I mean, like I said, it all ties back to what I believe in as just a human as a human person. That doesn't sound right. Hold on. Let me retract that one. What I believe in as a human. I truly have a distaste for the idea that money is what guides the world. I believe in the theories that create the idea that money is not what defines us as people. And that's where I struggle with the idea economically, mainly because for me personally, I don't believe that, this is a weird territory for me, but I personally don't believe that the theory of capitalism is inherently good, nor inherently bad, but I truly believe in the idea that everyone deserves an equal opportunity, and I feel like people who are raised above other members of society based on the fact that they maybe have a couple $1 million is what frustrates me. Not so much from the fact that they have a couple $1 million more than I or you do, but just from the sole fact that we treat them like they're a higher member of society. That's where I get frustrated economically speaking. But I mean, just like any other person on this planet, money is ultimately what guides the world. To have a few extra bucks is ultimately good. Which is good. Of course it is to you, but I mean, ultimately, that is what basically has come about the world. And even though I 100% disagree with that, um, until I'm able to start a militia and overthrow this nation, I really can't do much about it.
Yeah, you can. You can join us, and you can
No, I'm good.
make a buck.
I'd rather kill myself. Sorry.
Okay. Here's the key to that, Gus, and we'll move on to another topic here in a minute.
Yeah.
But just because this is our opener, and we'll come back to economics, but recognize that money makes the world go round, and once again, your own financial success is in your hands.
All right.
And the day you find yourself hungry is the day that you'll start working towards having that buck.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Going from economic, we actually are going to hit on this topic very soon. Dad, what's your religious views?
Well, I'm going to offer this, Gus. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And
I know. You don't have to tell me, Dad.
Yeah.
I know that one.
I've been a Christian for a few years, a number of years actually.
Off and on.
And off and on. And I'd say this. I'd say I've been a practicing Christian off and on, never a Christian off and on.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'd offer this. I say that I'm a Christian proudly.
Yeah.
And I'd say that maybe in some circles I've not said that proudly.
Yeah.
And so I'm a recovering Catholic. And
we're lucky for that one.
And currently a Christian. Yeah, I do attend some church services, and yeah, I partake in religion some.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the part that's been off and on.
Yeah.
And but my heart is as a Christian, and there's been enough slam out there. If you hold a Christian viewpoint, there's been enough slam out there that within this podcast I'll stand my own ground, and within the world stand my own ground as well.
Mm-hmm.
To say I am a Christian. Have I done things that allow people to point a finger at me and say, he's not a Christian, he's a hypocrite? Yeah, I've done those things. I'm a man.
Yeah.
Shame on me. But if I ask for forgiveness, I have in private.
Yeah.
And I ain't asking anybody else for forgiveness.
That's fair.
So, yeah, I'm a Christian, and you know what? Other people's religions, do I knock them? Yeah, all the time, but I knock everybody. So,
yeah.
So what's your point?
Exactly.
Let's hear your point, Gus.
So for me personally, I just coming out swinging. I don't believe in the organization of religion. I think it's kind of, to be honest with you, a load of bullshit. The idea that man is what leads spirituality or religion is, I don't agree with on any sense, because I believe that if there was a higher being, a man wouldn't be speaking for that spiritual being. Me personally, no matter how close he or she is with God or with the spiritual atmosphere.
Well, you're kind of talking about Jesus there, dude.
No, I'm talking about some dickhead in Montana that's probably talking about like how God hates gays, even though he doesn't really know.
Point taken.
Yeah,
point taken.
I'm talking to those people. But for me personally, I don't necessarily have a strong stance whether I am forcefully believing in a God or don't believe in a God. I wouldn't say it's off and on, but I would say that me personally, I believe that there is some spiritual being. Maybe not the God that we're used to in the West or gods of Greece. Just for me personally, I feel like there is some kind of spiritual sense in the world. whether it's good or bad. And I wouldn't say it defines our way of existence, but I would say that it really um, shows the world, or shows us as people what we are.
Understood, Gus. And as we march towards talking about religion, I guess one of the reasons it comes up as a topic, and will be a topic for one of our shows,
Yeah.
is there's a viewpoint that'll pop out from time to time as we discuss different topics moving forward.
Right.
And so I'd say don't judge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
I agree with that 100%. I don't think one way is wrong. I don't think one way is right. I believe that ultimately everything is kind of right and wrong. That's
Gotcha.
kind of how I see it.
Gotcha. Let's move on a little here. We got a topic here that I don't believe in. I'm just kidding.
Oh, whatever.
One of the things that I'm going to tell you, Gus, and our audience, is that I know that you partake in the arts.
Yes,
One of
that's
your
something that.
passions.
Yep, that's who I am as a person.
Understood totally, and quite frankly, there's been times in my life that I've tried to partake in the arts, and have come to the conclusion that I have zero talent. So coming to this podcast, I think about the arts, and this being a bio, this being our introduction. I think that from my perspective, I know a little bit about the arts.
Yeah.
I appreciate the arts. Obviously, I fund the arts,
Obviously.
and so I'm interested to hear your take, because much like I think money makes the world go round,
Yeah.
you think the arts makes the world go round. So let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of basically what you hit on, was that, like, you believe the idea of like the workforce and economics is what makes the world go around, like you said. For me personally, it's arts and culture. I just speaking from a historical perspective, paintings, art, writing, you name it, has been around for thousands of years. And what's remarkable about arts and culture to me is that it is, in my opinion, a universal language. I truly think
Interesting.
no matter what it is. And for me personally, I dabble in different aspects of art. I've just started painting, which is weird because I didn't think I was that like patient. I've dabbled into writing, whether that be books, poems, what you name it. But probably my biggest form of art is theater. And anybody that meets me in person knows that I am a theater person. And truly, I believe, just knowing the historical context and like its history of theater, I truly believe that it is a fundamental way of life, and that just goes for arts and culture altogether. Is that people as a society, we really take a look at art in all its different forms, and no matter if you live in the West or if you live here in the United States, or if you're from somewhere like Brazil even, art is appreciated, and you understand, and people can understand art and love it for what it is, and it's not based solely around one way of life.
I'm going to chime in real quick, Gus, and talk about one thing related to the arts, and that's my viewpoint of the arts is not as all encompassing as it is for you.
Yeah.
But I want to say, Gus, that as I watch you grow, yeah, we got a generation gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lean on two different sides of the world. But here's something that I see you as you grow and you partake in the arts is that A, you have passion, and as my child,
Mm-hmm.
that's an expectation to have passion. I don't care if it was. I'm glad it turned out to be the arts for you. I really wish you would have been a motocross racer. but that's okay. That's okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
You have that same passion.
Yeah.
You want to kill it.
Right.
And here's something else that you have, Gus, that you demonstrate within the arts is you demonstrate work ethic.
Yeah.
Now you may not be willing to work for a buck yet.
Right. Well, that's
But you have an extreme work ethic, and I'm proud of the fact that you get up at 5 o'clock, you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you roll, you go to school, and then you partake in the arts, and your day ends at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you get home, you get your homework done all the time, and then you go do it again. And I'm proud of that fact, and I think that'll bring you success. What your passion is in, we all have different passions.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Gus, and because I am proud of you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wish you were a motocross racer, or like maybe a championship fighter or something.
Oh yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. We got it.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know how to like turn my hand into a fist anymore, and you expect me to be a championship fighter?
Having those attributes, you can do whatever you want, Gus.
Yep.
And I hope you make lots of money in theater, just
We'll
so you
pretend
can
like
take care of me. All right.
All right. We'll pretend like it. Oh man.
I think we're ready to close this introduction. What do you think, Gus?
That's good for me.
You know, I'm happy to be here. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And once again, we're going to base this all on not just us. We're going to base this on the generation gap, which is why we opted to call this what we did, because there's a definite gap.
Oh yeah,
at this party.
Yep, 45 years or 445 years since I'm about 400. But so I'm excited too, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in. Join us on our next podcast where we discuss, in fact, one of the things we hit on in our introduction, which is our religious views, which is always a fun second episode. But so stay tuned for that for the next time. And Dad, do you have anything left to say?
I just got to say, we're living down here in the desert Southwest, and when we say goodbye down here, we say adios.
Adios? Is that what? We'll pretend like you didn't.
Screw off, Gus.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.